kind of jealous you can do multiple angles, man.
Yep, you can.
It just shows you're cooler than I am.
Wait till you see when it doesn't have this anymore.
That's an M.
Oh, now it won't. Oh, now I'm okay. I'm stuck with this angle. You
That's
can
funny.
turn off the camera while recording, but you can't switch cameras. It tells you right there.
So just as soon as I said that's cool, you're stuck in that angle. That's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my humble abode.
That is Mike's humble abode.
We're sitting in the studio. The kitchen's to the right of us, and there's another living room down the way there.
Yeah. Just saying.
So, for the
Yes.
folks at home, thank you for letting me know. The volume control for you and I doesn't
Yeah.
do shit for them.
Really?
No, that's a bug.
Oh, so regardless of how loud we are, they can hear us or they can't hear us?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, if Riverside listens to any of these recordings, you guys
Yeah.
got a problem.
So does it happen all the time?
I heard it. So I made a mistake
Okay.
when we recorded with Joe. Welcome to
Right.
the Chris and Mike Show, by the way. This portion is brought to you by technical difficulties. So when I was editing the podcast for Joe,
Yeah.
I just turned the volume down in a nice fade, right?
Right.
And we started talking.
Yeah.
When I went to edit it, thank God I listened that far. Freeman just kept playing for the whole 3 minutes and 28, however long that song is. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And it was,
Oh, so we didn't hear the first 3.5 minutes. We heard nothing from Joe?
we heard nothing from any of us. It was like at max volume. Thanks to my stellar editing skills, I'll pat myself on the back. I figured out how to fix it.
Nice
so
job.
nobody heard it that way except me.
Right on, dude.
But I've had several complaints that if we're meaning to be heard, you can't hear us during the sound effects portion of the live show.
Well, I knew the sound effects because you told me that. You told me that when I make sound effects and applause and shit, people can't hear us.
But I didn't know the music did that either.
Well, and I have the music down low, so maybe.
I can't hear it because you don't have the live button clicked.
Yeah, I do. It's live. Oh, fuck me, dude. Damn it.
Hey, I ran the first 60-some episodes.
Shit. I'm sitting there jamming out, fucking thinking we're talking over the music in the background. There's fucking
See,
live
now
button.
for them, that's
Right.
going to be at max volume, but I think I
No.
can fix it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, boys and girls.
No, you can let it go. I'll fix it.
Okay.
Whatever. It's all good.
Okay. So you can fix it so it's below our voices?
Yeah, that track becomes its own track
Okay.
called Media Board Audio,
Ah,
and you can adjust the volume of that.
right on. What's the weather like today there, Mike Michaels?
Yesterday it was 61, and today it's about 37, so that's why everybody's sick around here.
Yeah, today it's yesterday was 81.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Dude, I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
Like,
perfect in Arizona, man.
Like 3 days ago it was fucking freezing, right? Like to the point that I had to cover all my plants and shit, you know, because it was fucking freezing outside, and then now it's like fucking 81 degrees. It's like, you're fucking kidding me?
Beautiful.
It is. It was. It was nice today because after I got done working out, I went. I'm sorry, it's going to be 84 by 4 o'clock.
There's a lot of people that are living east of the Mississippi right now that are like,
Right? Fuck you,
suck.
Chris. Fuck you, man. So the next several days, 76, 78, 75, 73, 72, 68, 68, 67, 68. And you
turn
can
your
see the
preamp up
rose.
just a little.
You can see the little rosy hues in my face. That's because of the sun today.
Were you out yard working?
Is that my? Yeah, I was. Hold on. I was cleaning out the garden.
That's much better.
The garden needed to be cleaned out for planting, so I figured Tuesdays are kind of a chill day for me because I try not to do anything because of the show.
I
So
wish I could say that.
So after I did sell a house this weekend though, so it's not like I'm not being productive.
You're always productive.
$85,000 over list price.
Damn.
It's worth 1.3 if it was rehabbed completely, and we listed it for $7. We listed it for $825. I sold it for $910. Had multiple offers. I negotiated everybody against everybody because that's what you pay me for, and ended up with $910,000 for a buyer who, get this, is going to walk in once it closes. It closes the 28th of this month, and my clients can stay till the 31st of March. Then sometime after that, they will arrive with a wrecking ball, and they will demolish the house and put a new one up.
Whereabouts is this?
Cactus and 56th Street in Scottsdale.
Okay.
So they literally paid $910,000 for a 16,000 square foot lot with a cement pond. I was like, wow, okay. I've seen a lot of shit in my lifetime in real estate. I saw a house in our neighborhood a couple years ago on Chandler Heights. Okay, so it's on a busy road, and people argue with me about this all the time. If you have a house on a busy road, facing it, behind it, you will lose 10% of value. And any appraiser will tell you this, and there's reasons why. You have the noise issue, and you have the issue of vehicles deciding to turn left into your living room. So your insurance is higher, and your value is not as strong. So if you have a house that's worth, say, $1 million that is on a busy road, it is no longer worth $1 million. It's worth 10% less.
And having lived in a house that backed up to a busy road,
yeah,
I can attest to that.
Right.
Our living room window was basically on Stapley.
Yeah. So the house in our neighborhood, somebody bought it $940 cash after it was on the market for 2 days. Within a month, it was torn down, and they have since built the main house, which, kid you not, the entire front of the house. It's a fucking amazing house. The rumor has it the guy's a cosmetic dentist, so there's money in that.
Oh yeah.
It's a storybook looking house, right? I'll have to take a picture of it when it's done. And so it's facing the front yard. It's like probably a 50-foot setback from the street. And Chandler Heights is a busy road. It's only going to get busier because they're building about 5,000 homes to the north and west of the neighborhood. Then before they even did anything, they built a major, like, badass concrete skate park in the middle of the lot. It's probably like a 2-acre lot, 3-acre lot. They built a skate park. Then they built 2 giant out structures that look like barns. And then they built the house. And then while they were building the house, we need this other fucking structure. So they built another structure and attached it to the house. And we need this other structure. They still haven't moved in yet.
This is the one in your neighborhood?
Yeah, they still haven't moved in yet. I think it's crazy. So the one that I sold was in Scottsdale. So I've seen somebody come in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna spend a ton of money just for this dirt, and then I'm gonna turn around and demolish the house and build a new one," which is what is going on with the one I sold in Scottsdale. But in my neighborhood, it was crazy because they're gonna be hard pressed to get the money back for that because it's gonna set the bar for a home if they ever go to sell it. It's going to have to be $3-4 million because of what they're doing, But it's you never want to be the biggest, baddest, bestest house in the neighborhood because it's going to take that much longer to sell.
And if you end up in a spot where the economy tanks, then you're stuck with it, or you're eating a loss. Correct?
Yes, but
if you're the leading, you set the record price per square foot in that neighborhood, and the economy goes south for 8 years, you're screwed.
Right. I don't know
We'll say 4 years because that's what happened from 2008 to 2012. It took all that time for everybody to recover, right?
And they were still neighborhoods that were still recovering years and years later.
Sure.
Because you went from, at the time $500,000 was a big chunk of change in the real estate world. It was rare to have $1 million. Like I used to be able to do a search on the MLS for a $1 million house that would come up with like 10 or 13 in the entire valley. Right now they're a dime a dozen.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, when you started like 2000-ish, right?
99.
Yeah. What did the average house in
Maricopa County?
Yeah, perfect.
160,000 maybe, if that.
What is it now?
Last year my average was 468,000.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
So
Things
yeah.
just keep getting more fucking expensive no matter
Yeah,
how
and
much
it's-
they try and tell you it's not going to.
Right, and what slowed down, because in 2024 there was only 4 million houses sold, and we're seeing, and this is nationwide, we're seeing about 26 million houses sold, but because the interest rates were so high, but they weren't so high. My first interest rate was 8.375, and I was fucking doing backflips because that was a great rate.
Agreed, but can I interject for 1 second?
Yes, you can, Mike Michaels, because this is the Chris and Mike show.
Chris is like, your second's up, fucker.
No.
No, I'm just being funny.
I know you are.
There's also all the people like myself and my sister next door and who are locked into super low interest rates, right? And we're not willing to give that up even if we wanted to move, right?
Hell no. And that's part of it too. So you don't have people that have, like, we have a 3% rate on what do we borrow? I put money down.
Yeah, yours is lower than mine.
I think it was 500 we borrowed. And now we're easily worth $1 million just because everything we've done.
I think mine's 3.85 if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
which is fantastic. So if you don't have to move, you're not going to move because you don't want to lose that rate. Now, there are people that have to move, and then because they have to move, it is what it is, you know.
Sure, I knew people that had to buy cars right after COVID was over. You know, they all got screwed because interest rates were super high.
Right, but then once COVID lingered a bit, then the inventory was so high because they had all these vehicles sitting and nobody was buying. We went in and got Nikki's, I mean, it's going to sound bougie, Nikki's Jaguar E-Pace SUV. But understand, it was a $39,000 vehicle, and we got it for $25,000 cash.
I would have bought that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because they weren't moving shit. So it was kind of like you walk into the dealership and you look at one of the salespeople. You know, the
That was
cutest
brand
one.
new.
No, it was brand new. It was a couple years old. But you just find the cutest salesperson and say, "Bend over, because I'm gonna fuck you."
I was like, Jesus, they were giving cars away that day.
You know, and then yeah. So, but they were for a short time.
Yeah, for a 2-year-old vehicle, that's cheap for a fucking
short,
Jaguar.
For a short time, it was a really, really optimal time to buy a vehicle. But most people weren't able to buy vehicles because, you know, if you weren't, what the fuck? What is it when I forget the thing? You know, not man. I was justified. I forget what the word was. So I could still work. I was relevant. Teachers were still relevant. You know, so you didn't get laid up.
Essential.
There you go.
Phew.
Yeah, no, it took me a minute, and I didn't even get it after a minute, so you had to chime in.
I had to remember it on the back. All the shirts people had to wear. Not had to. Not had to. They were given those shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, but
yeah. So it was that concept that, rightfully so, everybody tightened their belts.
Sure.
But she outgrew the Mustang because Little Man came into the world, so we had to get something that was more functional, even though really she doesn't ever have Little Man. Very seldom does she have Little Man in the vehicle, so we really could have kept the Mustang if she wanted it.
Got to be prepared though.
Yeah, and we drive the Jag depending on what we're doing. You know, basically it's just to and from school. She uses the Jag every now and then. We'll take it out, you know, because we're doing something. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking drive. You drive, you know, that type of thing. So there's that.
Because you're a truck driver that's not really a truck driver.
Right. Well, I like being high in the truck, man. I can see everything, you know, and because I've been hit. Come
on, man. That was the best terrible joke you're going to hear all day.
It was. I'm sorry. I still have like...
You should be.
Like
How dare you?
I was fucking, you know... I'm sorry. I'm just, you know... I'm like, blah.
It's all good. Blah. I amuse myself.
So, yeah. I like being high in the truck. I like seeing things. And because I've been hit so many times, it never did anything to me.
I think I would, too.
Yeah.
I just have such a I'd have to get like a crossover now or something to be up higher because my garage is super small. Your truck would, I don't know if it would even fit in my garage, and if it would, you'd have trouble getting out.
Yeah.
Pretty small.
Yeah, that was one thing. We were buying a house years ago, and my truck didn't fit in the garage. This is when we were trying to find something that would maintain Sky and us in the same under the same roof. It was a Lennar home. They have this thing called Next Gen, to where under the same roof you have a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, great room concept, like a really decent size apartment, if you will, with a full kitchen, laundry room. And it was, you could wall it so you couldn't get to it from the house, but if you go to the front door of the main house, to the right is the guest house, and to the straight of you is the main house door. So it's kind of cool. They call them Next Gen. They're perfect for like in-laws and shit. But my truck wouldn't fit, and the fucking sales rep said, "Well, just sell your truck."
You got to be kidding me.
Nope, that's what she said. I told her to fuck off. Like, sell my truck.
The right answer would have been, okay, let's go look at the next house, right?
Well, that's the thing. They started this bullshit in that city of Gilbert that they stopped building true 3-car garages, so they were the stupid bullshit 2 on one side, 1 on the other side, which just is fucking stupid because people like 3-car garages. Traditional. They didn't want the aesthetics of pulling up to a house and seeing 3 garage doors. Like, fucking really? Like, anybody's gonna look at that. Oh, there's 3 garage doors. I'm not buying this house. Like, fucking stupid builders, man.
Or even worse yet, who's not going to go to that house and visit the people that they care about inside because they got 3 garage doors?
Exactly.
That would be an adorable human being. Ooh, I could never be seen there. They have 3 garage doors.
Right? It's fucking stupid, man.
I want to meet that person. I really do.
Yeah, so you pull up to my house, there's 4-car garage. There's 2-car garages side by side.
Unacceptable.
And what people don't realize, like I had the portable restrooms brought over, dropped off at the wedding, right? Friday.
Yes, congratulations, Skyler.
Yep.
Michael Eugene Fry Jr.
Michael Eugene Fry Jr. Yep. It was.
Damn, I did it.
It was a good party. It was a good time. Fucking some asshole called the cops, which is not surprising. It's one of the 3.
No.
Yeah, it's either the neighbors to the north, the crazy cat lady, the neighbors to the east, the fuck you with the sign with the security cameras, or the neighbors to the south that he cussed me out like a sailor because I pulled his irrigation port one morning at 3 a.m. because he was 15 minutes late, and we had just moved the security camera to the chicken coop. Otherwise, I would have got his entire tirade on film, and I would have posted that shit. Been like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Pinell County Volunteer Sheriff's Posse member, Tom Alberti. Just lit me up, dude, like you wouldn't believe. Like I went out there. It was like 3 a.m, right? This is a true story, boys and girls. Went out there like 3 a.m. My irrigation was to start. Okay, so I go out there. I'm waiting for Tom. Finally, I'm like, fuck this. It's 5 after. So I walk down. I pull his port out, throw it on his side, shut his port up. Did I shut it? I don't remember if I shut it or not. I pulled the ditch out, the irrigation ditch, because the ditch stops the water from going to the next port. So I pulled his ditch out, and then dropped my ditch in. Well, as soon as I started walking back, I heard, "What the fuck are you doing?" And so I'm looking again. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, "Well, I'm pulling your ditch, Tom, because you can't seem to do it on time, and we both pay for irrigation, and if you can't get here on time, it affects my water flow. So yeah, I pulled your port, man. You can't you shouldn't fucking touch my shit. I'm gonna kick your ass." So by now I'm standing in front of him. Mind you, there's an irrigation ditch between us. It's concrete. That's maybe 2 feet deep and 3 feet wide. He's on his side. I'm on my side. So I'm like, "I'm right here, Tom. I'm right here." So cuss at me.
Describe Tom.
Probably 70-year-old. Every time you look at him, he has a resting bitch face, like somebody went and fucked him from behind with no lubricant, and then left the corn cob up in there.
Perfect.
Just an angry, bitter old man. Like, he probably doesn't have sex anymore. And
poor fella. Continue on.
Yeah, and he's like one of those like creepy pervs, man. Like, when we were still getting along with the eastern neighbors, they would go behind our house and go to Tom's house and go swimming. And Tom, like creepily, took a picture of his wife and the neighbor's wife in the pool on floaties. I know. I'm like, and put it on the community page. He's like, I know I'm a dirty old man. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
He put it on the community
page. Yes.
Oh, that's kind of gangster.
Yeah. So after he continues, he continues cussing me out because I touched his ditch stop to let my water flow. Like literally, it was a 5-minute exchange. More on his part. I just kept saying, "I'm right here, Tom. Well, you better watch yourself." Okay, I'm here, Tom. You want to throw a punch at me? Let's go. I'm not going anywhere. Let's go, man.
Watch myself do what, Tom?
Yeah, and he's like, "What did he threaten me? You have no idea what's coming, man. You're gonna get what's coming to you." I'm like,
"That's a threat."
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, Tom. Okay." I just kept saying okay as he would kept mouthing off to me. I just kept saying, "Okay, Tom. I'm right here, man. Like,
you
bring
and
it
I
on,
so
dude."
have this in common.
Like,
that's exactly how I
right?
would have
Like,
dealt with it.
like, what is it that you want to do, man?
Burn yourself out, you
Right.
dumb fucker.
Right, and you could see how he was just so fucking angry, man. He was like clenching at the fist, and his face was just shaking. And understand, this is all over him failing to pull his ditch stop on time. So
He's the one that made the error.
Right. So I went and pulled it for him. This was like the third time in a row. So I went and pulled it for him and set it on his property line and walked back and put my stop in so I could get my water. But somehow it's my fault. Somehow I'm the asshole. So that conversation ended with the next time it happened, I shot him a text message. And I was like, Tom, if you can't pull your port, I need you to go ahead and just have Rancho pay Rancho to do your irrigation because it affects the water that I get. Let's see if I still have. I just got a new phone, so I don't know if I still have it or not. I do. So I tell him, this is what I tell him, May 7th, 2023. If you can't close your port on time, pay RJID, which is our irrigation district. My run started at 12:45. You shut your port at 2:04. You cost me full flow because he did. And when you, it should have been 104. When you don't shut your port, then it slows the water down.
Sure.
His response, Tom Alberti, volunteer posse member for Pinal County Sheriff's Department, fuck off. I shut my port way before that. If you text me anymore, I will file harassment charges with the police.
Okay.
My response, God bless you, Tom. Jesus loves you. Right there.
I'm looking at it.
It's just mind-boggling, dude. So what we think, because they were we had no issues with him whatsoever. But what we think happened is the easterly neighbors started talking shit about us to them, and there you have it.
That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
But it just goes to show that sometimes even when you try to do the right thing and be nice, you still get fucking stepped on. It's ridiculous. Yes. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like there's nothing I did wrong there. Nothing.
No. And you know how I resolve that and keep my inner peace? He is just that fucking ignorant, self-centered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't matured as a human being to the point where he can see your side of it, right?
Yes.
There's times where I can see somebody's side of it, and and because you and I have been there.
Yeah.
I can see somebody's side of it and still disagree.
Right.
I still respect you.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with lots of people every day that I love, right? They disagree with me.
Right.
You can agree to disagree respectfully. You don't have to be fuck off.
Right. As Neil
you live right next to this person, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a time when I would get his port. He'd be late. It'd be the middle of the morning type thing, and I would text him, "Hey man, I'm gonna pull my water. I'll just grab your port." And he was always fine with that. So this time I let it go once because Nikki's like, "You should stop. He's being a dick to you. So don't go out of your way to be nice." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take that."
And at some point, you just said it a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
now you're taking advantage of me.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, and
That's
really,
not cool.
No. And the way the irrigation goes, if you don't start your water in time, you're going to flood out. You're going to flood somebody out because they would have shut the person before you. And I'm the first on the run now, whereas Tom was the first on the run. And then I kept like telling the rancho people, I'm like, why are you letting him run first? Like, my house is further down than his. I should start, and then he can go, and then down the line, because the 2 other people to the west of me don't get water. 3 other people don't get water. They don't, or 4 actually. They don't get water for whatever reason. The last guy on the end to the south, he just puts his ditch stop in. When the irrigation runs, it opens his port, and he gets whatever overflow between runs. So I drop mine. When it first starts, I don't take water because you got to let it cycle through the bullshit and the shitty water and the assholes that fucking fill the ditch with leaves and branches and weeds and shit. You're supposed to keep your ditch clean, and people don't, and then it all runs down and clogs the system up. So this guy in the end, this is such an entertaining radio, I'm sure. So this guy in the end, he just opens his port.
If it wasn't, I would have lost interest, and I'm interested. So somebody else is.
Yeah. So the guy, So the guy in the end gets free water because
everybody's got neighbors, right?
Yeah. Everybody's got neighbors. So and see, I unfortunately have 3 shit neighbors and only one.
Yeah, you're in an unfortunate position.
In an unfortunate position.
And I've heard from people that listen to it where I work that they get a kick out of those stories, because I think everybody's had a neighbor like that, you have 3 at the same time. It's fucking crazy.
Yes. So the end result was that now he has Rancho come pay he pays them $20 a run to start and stop his ditches, which is rightfully so. The dude's fucking got 1 foot in the grave. The night where he was yelling at me, he's kind of stumbled in the water, and I was, for a second there, I was like, oh, I should help him. Like, fuck him. He's cussing me out for doing something helpful.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to help you, man. You're calling me out. You're threatening me, and you're just a piece of shit now. So,
I agree with you, because as I'm listening to you tell the story, I'm thinking, how would I have handled it? And I probably would have handled it pretty similar, because I'm the nicest guy in the world till you take advantage of me, and then you get 2 middle fingers. Fuck you.
Exactly.
And I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm going to sleep. Well, I have insomnia off and on my whole life, but I may not sleep at night, but it won't be because of that.
Yeah, no, and
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and he riled me up, but I wasn't dumb enough to take his bait.
That's and that's where I think maturity, intelligence.
Yeah.
What good is it going to do if I react hostile in the same way that he is?
Right.
It's going to escalate to the point where something's going to happen that shouldn't. And
I would have broke his nose probably. He would have been laying face down in the ditch and probably drowned and died.
And then you would have felt bad forever.
I don't know about forever, because he had it coming to him. Maybe for a couple of days when the police came and got
bad.
me.
Nobody wants to kill another human being.
No, I know.
You punched him in the nose and he died of old age.
It was me joking. But that's the thing. You expect somebody that's older
to be the person who you were in that situation. 100%. Yes.
It's kind of like like finally the idiots to the east. Their shit stopped smelling like shit. I don't know what they did, but finally, they did it about a week before the wedding. Thank God, because
All right, so you got a full circle all the way back to what happened why did they call the police when the police showed up? What was the reason for the complaint?
So the wedding went off without a hitch. It was great, all the ceremony and stuff, and
awesome. It looked beautiful.
Yeah, it did. It's nice. I'm still waiting for pictures from the photographer. They got
ones that you guys posted, everything looked really, really, really nice.
That's just my stuff, man. I'm not even a pro, right?
Yeah.
So one of Skylar's friends, who was here New Year's Eve for little man's birthday, they had got the fireworks that go in the air and explode. 4th of July. Okay. So she comes up to me, her friend, and says, hey, we got fireworks. I said, okay, the kind that you had for little man's birthday. She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. She said, can we light them off? I was like, just don't set anything on fire and just do one. She's like, okay. I didn't realize one meant one box, and one box was about 20 fireworks that legit get shot into the air. And when they're in the that shit, okay?
When you get Steele on here, don't forget to ask him about his firework adventures and the police.
Okay.
He'll tell you some good stories.
So that goes down, and rightfully so. I mean, we told people the morning of, hey, we're having a wedding. It's going from 4 to 10. We're gonna have a DJ. It's gonna be loud.
I would have done the same thing.
The catch with our hood is because it's all open space. The sound travels. Okay?
Sure.
So when people there's a neighbor on the other side of us, north, the second street north of us. Since we lived there, they probably had 4 or 5 reception type things in the yard. We hear it all. Okay, we just shut the door. No big deal. You shut the door, you don't hear the shit. So sometime after 8:00, I don't know what it is. My new in-law, I guess, Michael's dad, Mike. I don't know what to call him, right? Because I'm Michael's father-in-law, right? And Michael and Leonie are Skylar's father, mother-in-law. So I don't know what we are, right? So it's just June's dad, right? I fucking had a hard time wrapping around this shit. But so I'm just
okay.
So
I don't understand either.
I don't either. I don't either. So he comes over and he's like, "Hey man, thank you so much, blah blah blah. Great night, great thing. It's kind of thanking me, appreciative, all that kind of jazz." He's like, "Hey, by the way, the cops are here." I'm like, "What the fuck, man?" So I go out my side gate into the driveway, and sure enough, there's 2 cops sitting there. So first thing I'm out, I said, "You guys are trespassing." Or excuse me, I'm like, "You're not invited to this party. I need you to get off my property. Go stand in the street. That's public property." And they just kind of look at me, and I'm like, "For real, this is my property. You're not invited, so I need you to go on public property." So they back up. They're standing on the street, and I'm standing on my driveway. And I'm like, "So what can I do for you?" "Oh, well, we had noise complaint." "Okay, well, I told everybody that we were having a wedding here tonight along with a reception, so I can pretty much guess which one of the 3 neighbors that called you." "Well, I can't confirm or deny that." I said, "Okay." I said, "Then why are you here?" "Well, there's fireworks." I'm like, "There's no fireworks." "Well, we had reports of fireworks." I said, "The reports of fireworks, so there were fireworks, but they're no longer fireworks. So again, why are you here?" "Well, the noise ordinance, blah, blah, blah." And this guy had the other guy explain. I said, "Well, the noise ordinance is such that I can make as much noise as I want till 10 p.m. and you can't do anything about it. Once 10 p.m. comes off, then as long as my noise is done, then you can't do anything." I said, "I don't know why you're here." "Well, we're here because of the fireworks." I said, "Again, there's no fireworks." I was like, "So you can be rest assured there'll be no more fireworks if there was fireworks. And you can have a nice evening." And I started, kind of turning. It's like, "Well, we need your name to verify that we talked to you." I was like, "You don't need my name." "Well, we need your name to show that we had a conversation with you." I said, "Are you going to tell me the name of one of the 3 neighbors that called the cops? Because my name's Chris, and now you can give me their name." "What's your last name?" "You don't need my last name."
They know exactly where they're at.
Yeah,
it's fucking 2025.
Right. "Well, can I have your birthday?" "You don't need my birthday, man."
They know that too.
Right. "Well, we just need to prove we talked to you." That's like, "You have my first name, Chris. You're standing in the street in front of my house. So that's it. You're good. Have a nice night." And I turned around and walked away. So, fuck nuts that there were. Somebody might, and it's one of the two. It's either the Albertis, which is the guy that threatened my life because I pulled his ditch, or it's the Eastern neighbors because they're just fucking assholes. There's no other way around that. Or it's the crazy cat lady across the street, because they're just, the cat ladies across the street, the weird dynamic with them, for those of you who don't know, if you've never heard the story, they called the police on me because they said I was killing, skinning, and burying cats in my backyard. True story.
That's the best. That might still be the best true story on the podcast so far.
So God forbid you knock on my door and say, "Hey, the cat Sam is missing." Okay, knowing full well that 2 houses west of me, there was a 40-acre farm that they sold, and they were moving dirt like crazy, heavy equipment, prepping it for land, and I mean, just for months, this lot was just being turned over and over and over, and dirt added and more dirt because it's an irrigated farm lot. So water moves. My land moves 3 inches a year, right? So that thing, who fuck knows? We had been here since October. This was February. We were supposed to go run the Mesa Marathon, but I had the first issue I had with my right foot, so we ended up bowing out because we didn't know what was wrong with my foot. Like, I can't go run a half marathon. So we happened to be home. It was dark. I was icing my foot. The doorbell. Do we have doorbell at the time? I don't remember. We don't have doorbell now. We took it off. Like, fuck you. If you don't know us, you don't need to ring our doorbell. So we go to the door, and there's two cops. One's playing a good cop. One's playing bad cop. You know, one's come outside. I'm not coming outside. I'm like, what do you need? Well, we're getting complaints that you've been killing cats, skinning them and burying them in your backyard. And Nick and I just kind of look at each other. I said, let me guess, that person over there. Well, I can't confirm or. I said, you don't have to confirm or deny. It's them, because when we moved in, they were all pissed off that I threw all the cat dishes away. There was an unknown amount of feral cats that hovered in my yard, and I called the Humane Society. We got every type of humane way to get rid of these cats, from coyote piss to urine pellets, to an automated sprinkler. So if the cat walked in front of the sprinkler, it would just hit him with water. Little cat spikes in the garden area. This weird blue light that was supposed to emanate a sound that would just irritate the cat. I mean, fucking anything and everything you can think of, aside from going to the point of getting traps. We called the Humane Society. If we got a cat in a trap, we could take it to them. I'd have to pay $100. They would spay and neuter it, and they would if it was chipped, they would locate its owner. Then the owner would have to come pick it up. So we never got to that. We got a trap, but I never actually set it up. It was in the addition garage one day. So the cops come over after about 10 minutes in the front porch. The guy that was just, staring me down opens his mouth. Okay, it's obvious you're not killing cats, but we need to kill. Are you okay if we come in? Which, number one, boys and girls, you never let a cop in your house without a warrant, but I had nothing to hide. So I let them in. I flipped on the lights. As soon as they walked in the hallway, they saw the family picture of our Marine Corps son. Oh, military family, huh? Like, did you not notice the fucking flag flying in the front yard, dickhead? Right? Like,
He thought that was a prop.
Like, American flag, Marine Corps flag, but yes, we're a military family. So they walk in, they see the house, and I said, let me hit the lights. He's like, your lights? I said, yeah, we got lights to light up the pasture. The entire backyard will be lit up in a second. So hit those lights, hit the other lights. Let's go outside. Legit, we walked around the entire yard. Not a single fresh hole was dug. No evidence of any cats. They flashlighted my 3-yard dumpster.
That's because you're good at your job.
They flashlight the dumpster. I'm like, they're looking everywhere, and I'm like, you can go back to Trish and Linda and tell them to fuck off, because I don't kill cats. Okay, so legit, I watched him walk across the street.
I had a whole backstory.
Yeah.
Chris has been killing cats since the Nemesis days. That's what made us famous. Was
Right.
the cat sacrifices that happened at exactly 12:01 a.m. I always wondered why it had to be right at 12:01.
Right.
Not 12:01. 12:01.
12:01. That's why we played homage to Nugent and Mike saying the cat scratch.
See, it's all coming together
for years, man.
This is how conspiracies get started.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's the crazy cat ladies, right? So then a week later, I see the easterly neighbors. The male is on his patio roof, going in and out of his attic. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then the wife is like, yeah, what are you doing? Like, really obscenely loud, because obviously she was embarrassed. Well, I'm just running wires. 2 days later, I noticed there's this fucking camera on the peak of their back patio.
Just running wires.
Okay, that clearly, because I went out there at night, clearly lit up as I walked my backyard. His response to why he did that was to keep an eye on the hawks, because they have so many chickens. I'm like, dude, you've lived here 4 fucking years before me, and you're just now concerned about hawks? Really?
Just now.
Really? So every day until my hop seat,
stupid.
yeah. So every day until my hop seat got to a point of where it blocked all the cameras except this one section, I would get home from Orange Theory. I would go out back, regardless of the time of year. I'd strip butt ass naked, put all my sweaty clothes on the concrete. I would either turn around towards the camera and bend over and smack my ass, or I would face the camera and give a salute or a wave. So, number one, his wife could see what a real man looks like naked. And the funny shit, when they would walk by us, she would just have this shitty grin on her face because she's seen me naked. Because how could you not? I'm like, even if she didn't intend to see me naked,
she saw you naked.
Yeah, right. Because I'm like, fuck you. You're gonna fucking invade my privacy, then I'm gonna fucking invade your privacy, and I'm gonna fucking drop trowel in front of you every day. And I did it every day, 5 days a week for probably a year until my Hopsy got to the point to where they couldn't see the backyard from that vantage point anymore.
And that, my friend, is what makes you still to this day a fucking rock star.
Right? It's just, and all because they
don't
believe.
Get mad, get even.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes. All because they believe fucking, because Trish and Linda's had cats disappearing. I'm like, oh, how is that fucking my fault? I'm not the last person to move into this neighborhood. Behind Paul, they're the last people to move in this neighborhood. And then you have all this construction going on down the street, and you're going to fucking blame me.
And what would possess them to think that you just moved into the neighborhood to start becoming a cat murderer?
I have no idea. And this was February, so we had been there since October. And from October to February, apparently they had lost a couple cats. Well, there's fucking coyotes in this neighborhood like you wouldn't believe. Like you can hear them howling at night.
Sure.
Every
you
week
guys all live on property,
right?
So there's going to be wild animals,
right? And then you have the fact that cats get hit by cars, and you have the fact that this entire excavating construction crew was tearing apart this farmland and then filling it back up with dirt, and then they would fill it with dirt and tear it down, fill it with dirt and tear it down, like nonstop for about 6 months.
Yep.
God forbid you think a fucking cat. Here's how do you solve that problem, crazy cat lady? Keep your fucking cats inside.
Ding, ding, ding.
Because then Linda tries to tell me, well, I saw, whatever the fuck the cat's name, go into your addition and he never came out. Okay, well, number one, the addition garage didn't have a door on it at the time, and the addition garage didn't have a garage service door on the time, so the cat would go through the addition garage door and go out the garage service door. So logic was out the window. So my response to them, like, you can't come fucking knock on my door.
That would be a start.
You can't just say, hey, we're missing Fluffy. Have you seen him?
That's where I would have started.
Right.
Hello, my name's Mike.
Right.
I live across the way, and I lost a couple cats. Have you seen them?
Right.
And you would have said no, and I'd say, well, keep an eye out. You know.
Right. They all knew that I hated cats because I'm allergic to them. So they all knew when we moved in. The problem with buying this house how we did, we bought it from an entity, not a person, so there's no disclosure. Had we known that the previous owner lost their marbles and they had like 20 chickens in the house and they had like 20 cats and a llama and other livestock and shit, and the 2 doors down, that lady died and she had like 12 cats in her house because she was a crazy cat lady. And her son, being the dickhead that he is, he just decided to kick him out of the house and shut the door. Stripped the house. Apparently he gutted the house entirely. He's another fun one because I went down to him one day. He doesn't live there. Nobody lives in the house. So I went down there one day and I was like, hey, man, you ever think about selling your house? I'm not selling my house. I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm not saying I want to sell your house. I'm asking you a question. I see you come down here once a month and mow it. Nobody lives here.
Relax, bro.
So my daughter and future son-in-law live with us, and it would be great if they could live in the same neighborhood, let alone the same street, let alone 2 doors down. So I'm asking you if you've ever thought of selling your house, because if you do, I'm not selling my house. Whoa, motherfucker. Okay, Larry, you can fuck off and suck my dick, because I'm going to go back to my house now, and I don't care. And legit, the guy... It's almost like the Easterly people are talking shit about us around the neighborhood. So anybody we approach, we're the pricks coming to approach you, which is mind-boggling. Because on a whole, I have a really good rapport with a lot of people in this neighborhood. The fact that, I've sold 6 houses in the neighborhood, which tells you something. The person who runs the Facebook page reaches out to me when she thinks somebody's spamming the page so I can take a look in tax records to see if they actually live in the neighborhood. But
Well,
these, go
you
ahead.
know that I laugh because of the ridiculousness of
Oh,
them,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody that can't get along with you, there's 1,000,000% something wrong with them.
Well, this is what
Because
Nick,
you and I,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think, try to adapt and get along in whatever situation we're in.
Right.
I mean, if God forbid I got to go to a place where I have to dress up and act like a normal human being,
Right.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's painful. I fucking hate it, but I'll
Yeah.
do it because it means something to somebody else, right?
Sure. Exactly.
As much as dragging somebody who wouldn't want to go to a fucking Metallica show
Yeah.
would do that for me, right? They may
Yeah.
hate it, but
Exactly.
you do things that you don't want at certain points. And one of those points is when you're a neighbor to somebody and you disagree with their take on something. Just because you hate cats doesn't mean you're a fucking serial cat killer,
Exactly.
right?
But in their mind, I'm the only loon because, again,
You're not bowing down to what they were used to being able to get away with.
right. Well, and then it even goes deeper, man. Like this shit goes way deep. After we looked at the house, put it off, and got accepted, Jake was home he was on leave for something. So he drove to the neighborhood with a friend to take a look at the house. So he pulls in the driveway, gets out, walks around. I tell him it's fine, it's vacant. Crazy cat lady Linda calls him over and starts talking to him. Oh, are you the one that bought the house? Like, okay, he's a fucking 19-year-old kid. You really think he bought this house, Linda? You fuck. He's like, no, my dad, my parents, I'm on leave, so blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, okay. Well, at least you're not the real estate guy. And he's like, what? Because my tailgate's wrapped. Well, he was over here and he went through the yard and took all the cat watering dishes and dumped them out and threw them in the garage. Jake's like, well, yeah, that's my dad.
Oops.
Right? So when I brought that up to Linda, she adamantly denies it. So she claims that my son lied to me about that whole story. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to believe you over him, Linda, because I've known you for maybe a week and I've known my son his entire life, so you can fuck off.
Yeah, and he doesn't just randomly make up fucking stories.
So that's where it started. that's how it all started, because later we come to find out that they were moving water dishes further and further outside the property because that was supposed to keep them from gravitating into the same spot over and over again. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea, because I just dumped them out and threw them away because I'm like, fuck you, I don't want your cats in my yard. So that's how that originally began. Because I flat out told him, I'm allergic to cats. I don't want them shitting in my yard. That little man, we were doing all kinds of work in the yard and shit. I don't need little man playing in piles of dirt where there's cat shit. Like, you got cats, keep them in your house. I have a fucking dog. My dog doesn't roam free. That's the double standard that I don't like. If a dog's on the loose, call a dog pound. Dog gets picked up, taken to the dog pound. Fuck you. If nobody claims him, he's euthanized, right?
We're going to agree on this 1,000,000%.
Yeah. So, but cats can roam free. Cats can do whatever the fuck they want. Cats can come shit in your neighbor's yards. Cats can come kill birds in the yards. They have complete control and can go anywhere and everywhere they want. I understand the need for cats on land with barns because mice and shit. You want to, cats, keep the mice away. I understand that. And the houses in our neighborhood that have 5 acres that have barns and shit, and they have ample livestock, by all means, have a fucking barn cat. I don't care. But don't let your barn cat come to my house. And if your barn cat comes to my house, don't accuse me of killing your barn cat because it came to my house. Right. It's not my fault it came to my house. Like, fucking, right? So you can catch a feral cat, and this is the bullshit. You can catch a feral cat, you take it to the humane society, they charge you $100 to take the cat off your hands. And then they spay and or neuter it depending on the sex, and then they release it back.
Fantastic.
Right? So it can't.
So the way I see it, you're out $100.
Right, because
all that happens.
Right. And the reason they spay and neuter it is so it keeps it from procreating other cats, which I get. But then you still have cats in the neighborhood that don't belong to anybody, which is just asinine. And it has died down because of all the humane stuff we did. Really, anything you could find on Amazon about getting rid of feral cats, we tried. Everything. I got a handheld bullhorn. Like, shit you not. This thing right here. Air horn. It's a handheld air horn.
Oh yeah, them fuckers are loud.
And when I see him in the yard, I'll tell Nikki, close your ears. And I'll go out the back door and and then I'll go to the other side of the house. And if I see him coming to my yard when I come home at night, I'll stop my truck and I'll go throw a rock at him and get the fuck out of my yard. The louder you are and the more welcoming, that's, seems to have got them to fucking understand, stay the fuck out of my yard. Every now and then there'll be one now. But the one, the trap that we had in the addition garage before there was a garage door, I forgot it was there because we got it and then I never really set it. So I stuck it in the garage and had it open. This is probably 6-7 months after, the Queen Creek police was here for the killing part of it. And if you just joined us, you have to go back in the show to realize I'm not killing anything.
No, nothing has been murdered.
Right. So I leave for the day and my security cameras are alerting me. Well, Trish, the older of the crazy cat lady, Linda, is sitting at the edge of my driveway, looking right, looking left, looking very nervous, right, left, looking very nervous, right, left. The Eastern woman is at the base of my garage. Linda walks into the garage. Mind you, I have 3 signs up. No trespassing, property under surveillance, beware of dog. All covering my ass for liability. So the easterly neighbor and Linda walk into the garage. Apparently, Linda's cat walked into the trap, even though there was nothing in the trap. It was just a metal cage that was open. And, this shows you how smart cats are. Let's walk into a trap that has no food because, again, I just kind of stuck it in the addition garage, didn't think about it. Cat was caught, right? They hear the cat crying. So they decide to trespass, release the cat, and throw the cat trap across the garage. So not only did they trespass, they damaged property. So what did I do? Well, I called the Queen Creek Police Department, like any good citizen would do, and filed charges for trespassing on all 3 of them. This was about a year before Preston Lord was killed, so this kind of shows you how good the Queen Creek Police Department is, because Preston Lord would still be alive had they broken the party up and made sure everybody left the premises and went home. But instead, they told the high schoolers, oh, you better stop partying or we're going to come back. So, an hour later, Preston Lord's beaten to death. So nothing happened with the trespassers. They didn't. I'm filing charges. I want to press charges on all 3 of them because they violated my property, they damaged my property, and they entered it without permission.
Nothing happened?
Nothing.
That's bullshit.
Which is why I have no respect for the Queen Creek Police Department. I have nothing but respect for police and fire department. I have nothing but respect for first responders. Hell,
and I know that firsthand because I've known you for a long time.
Right.
Yes.
But if you're not going to do your job, if you're not going to do right by someone who was violated, then fuck you. Get off my property. You don't have permission to be on it. You can stand in the street and talk to me. When I walked back through the crowd of Skylar's friends that were in that area smoking, he had the ooh. He told you. But it's true, though. You don't have to let police in your house without a warrant. You do nothing wrong. There's nothing they can do.
No, there's a thing called the Fourth Amendment.
Right. They cannot come onto your property without permission. So don't ever feel like, even if you're doing something illegal, because that's the catch, right? If I would have had, an 8-ball of cocaine and a bong and, some shake weed on my coffee table with porn playing on the table, on the TV, and the cops walked in the house, I'm fair game. I'm absolutely fair game because I willingly let them in the house.
Not because of the bong or the cocaine.
Right.
It's the porn playing on the TV.
But
I liked your scenario. through my head there.
But and I forget why I learned that after the fact, but it's an accurate statement. Like, unless they have a warrant, you don't have to let them in your house. We let them in our house because we weren't doing.
No.
Yeah, we weren't doing anything. We weren't killing cats. We weren't.
I'm the nicest guy in the world, but I understand my rights, and it took me a long time to be a tax-paying, home-owning citizen of this fucking country. So you should exercise your rights fully.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean you're not a nice guy. Doesn't mean that you disagree with the police. It means you have no fucking reason to be in my house.
Right. You have no reason to be on my property.
And one thing that you said earlier that I actually can say today for the first time and probably my whole adult life is I have nothing to hide either. Right? For a long time, I would have had the bong on the table and an ounce of weed or pound or somewhere in between.
Right.
And you're not coming in my house. But those days are over because it's all legal now. So, that thought stayed with me the whole time. I was like, I don't have anything illegal in here now either.
Yeah,
Jesus.
No, right? But that's the thing. It's like people and you respect power, and I respect power and authority.
I have the same utmost respect for the police, but I think the one thing that anybody with any amount of common sense and intelligence would agree with both of us on is if you were not doing the job that you were prescribed as a police officer, then fuck you.
Yeah.
Because now you're just being a bully with a badge.
Yeah.
And they're out there. And the 1% of them that's where people get a bad name and a bad taste in their mouth for the police. It sucks because most of them go to work every day just like the rest of us do, and they want to do a good job, right?
Right.
I firmly believe that. I do.
Agreed.
But every now and then you run into that one fucking asshole that's like
Tom.
ugh.
Like Tom, volunteer police posse, blah, blah, blah. And there's an old saying, I don't know how much it's accurate nowadays, but it used to be that about 60% of all the police were kids that were bullied as children. And then that's how they kind of get back at society. They go into the law enforcement so they can
they're out there
and bully those back.
No question. Because I've run into both kinds. And I've had quite a few interactions with the police, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
But fortunately, 98% of them were
nice.
And one adult talking to another adult.
Yeah.
Right. And they were super cool. And in a couple instances, as I described on this podcast, they could have ended my freedom for sure. Prison. Absolutely. But for whatever reason, discretion was the better part of valor, or they didn't want to do paperwork. Either one, I don't care. But there were a couple instances where, sure, I could have ended up in really bad situations, but they acted like human beings.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's what kind of goes back to the fact that they called the cops on me for killing cats. They know that I have kids, that I'm married, and I have a grandson. So you have to think about, in their minds, did they really believe that I was killing cats, or were they just trying to fuck me up? Knowing that we're gentrifying this neighborhood because we don't like living in shit. So we redid the house. We made it look nice. We made it to today's standards, and everybody around us, aside from two of our neighbors, Brian and the Postons, they've done some stuff to the house to make it nice and modern. But the northern, the southern, and the eastern neighbors, they all live in shit that was built in the 70s that probably hasn't been updated or upgraded.
Easy now. I'm 1963.
Well, no, I'm not. But you've upgraded, dude.
A little bit.
So
I'll take pictures of the parts that have it, and you'll get a kick out of it.
Right. Well, and when we bought this house, it was stuck in the 90s, so we had the means to update it and upgrade it to our satisfaction.
And that's where I'm at. I waited until I had the money to do it.
Sure.
So sure. Yeah. That's just being funny.
I know, but
I still have hunter green carpeting in two of my bedrooms, so I'm waiting for it to come back around.
My point was, don't hate on somebody because they're making their property value increase while yours is decreasing.
Agreed.
Agreed. Just because you like living in this 900 square foot house doesn't mean we can't make ours nicer.
And those, you know, the things, unfortunately, that I needed to do to this house were the things that are not fun that nobody sees, right? It needed a new air conditioner. It needed insulation. It needed all of the windows and the doors caulked and sealed and just shit you don't see that costs money, you know?
Yeah.
And thankfully, my dad helped me do a lot of that stuff. So thanks, Steele.
Thank you, Steele.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot more to do, but, you know, a little bit at a time. You have to keep up, I guess, is the point. Why would anybody be mad at somebody for keeping their property up? If you let your house fall in, then everybody's property value goes down. And why would you want that?
Exactly.
I don't know what else to say. You know, it's just.
Well, some people don't like, they don't like change. You know, they don't like people coming in and updating things. And
we'll get my sister on here, and she can. I'm not going to tell her story, but she can tell you about her neighbor if she wants to. You'd get a kick out of that.
Okay.
She's got one just like you.
Nice. Well, I got
not a real problem, but if you want to know what somebody not taking care of their property will do to a neighborhood, my sister and my brother-in-law take immaculate care of their house. It's beautiful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys, they had the means and they went in and made it the way they wanted, and it's beautiful, and the outside looks nice, and then they have to live next to the Beverly Hillbillies before they move to Beverly Hills, right?
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, we'll see if Melissa wants to come on here one afternoon.
That would be fun.
She's got some good stories.
That would be fun.
She survived death. She could tell you that story.
Oh, that's cool. I did that too. We have something in common then.
Me too, on a couple occasions.
Right. So, anything else you want to talk about? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday? Running day? Taco day? No, burrito day.
I got leftover. I made tater tot casserole. I was trying to think of what it was. Yeah.
So what's that have? Tater tots?
Tater tots and garlic peas and golden mushroom soup and a pound of hamburger and some tater tots.
You lost me at golden mushroom soup.
You don't like mushrooms, do you?
I had them once, and they were really good, but I haven't had them since that way, so I won't eat them.
I can guarantee you that if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't even know what it is because it turns into like a sauce.
Okay.
It's not like there's mushrooms in there.
Okay.
It literally, you bake it at 350 for like half hour, and all that soup becomes just like
Flavor Town.
Flavored into the hamburger and the tater tots.
Gotcha.
There's not much left of it. Yeah,
Right
no
on.
burrito tonight. Probably burrito tomorrow.
I had a burrito before I came on the show. Jasmine rice and turkey sausage with mayo, cheese, and because I'm doing cheese again, and a flour tortilla.
How's Filiberto's doing? Are they still?
I don't know. I haven't
ass?
had. They're still out here, but I haven't had Filiberto's since the Hollow Council days. Like that, legit is a. We used to. After I'd come home from practice on the way home, I would stop at Filiberto's, get 2 shredded beef tacos with sour cream and cheese quesadilla and a large raspberry iced tea. Oh,
Their burrito fed me for an entire day.
right? Oh, fuck yeah.
Maybe 2 days sometimes if I was poor.
Yeah, and I would go home and Johnny, the dog, was still alive, so he would meet me at the door and we'd go sit down in the in the great room and pop on The Office and eat unhealthy food and
Ray Stone and I used to go there and just shoot the shit and talk about life and eat a $2 burrito that was as big as your head.
Oh yeah. It's like when I go to every now and then I'll go to Chipotle just to get something for when I got office hours, and I'll be like, don't stuff it, like make it a kid version. And they kind of look at me like, I don't need a fucking burrito like 5 inches round. I don't need that.
Right.
It's too much. Just bring it down a notch.
That's why I like this place I go to, because it's perfect. It's not, you would envision twice the size they make it. So I think you would like it too. It's just for, a man, it's perfect. Women usually cut it in half and they get 2 meals out of it. But
Nikki always does. Whenever we go get Mexican food or something, she'll get a burrito and she'll cut it in half, and that's lunch for the next day. Anytime we go out somewhere to eat, whatever she gets, half of it comes home.
There's just certain things for me. I just noticed it last night when I made that casserole. It's like I would have been full probably halfway through any other meal. There's just certain things you eat or that I eat.
Yeah.
And that burrito is one of them. Mexican food in general.
Yeah.
It's so flavorful and it tastes so good that it's almost like your brain's just like, yeah, just keep going. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Nikki made this thing the other night, Fiesta salsa chicken or something. Salsa Fiesta chicken. It was fucking out of pull. It was on site, man.
Sounds amazing.
It was good. So we're getting these Hello Fresh things.
Okay. I'm familiar.
Yeah, they're pretty legit. They don't have a lot of variety. Like we used to get, what the fuck was the one? I don't know. We had it for years. I don't even remember. But we kept the cards, and then we'd find our favorites, and then we would go to what was Blue Apron. We did that.
Familiar
for years.
with that too. Yep.
But we have all their cards, so then we know. What's that?
Hello Fresh was pretty good.
Yeah. What are we doing now?
Home Chef.
Oh, Home Chef is now. Hello Fresh was good. Now we're doing Home Chef. Okay. And Home Chef, we're not feeling the love. Blue Apron was cool, but we had it so long that we ended up came back around full circle to the same mashed up piece and shit. But we kept them. Nikki has all of them, so every now and then we'll meal plan for a couple weeks and we'll have Blue Apron shit. So that's kind of cool. It's fun. It's fun like that. Just a little variety. It helps with the you want to have a nice full belly before the porn and the cocaine and the marijuana on the table before the cops come over, because you got to offer them some food. Hey man, want a burrito? It's on site, I'm telling you. So
Carrie actually has a real life marijuana, cocaine, and the police story, but I would have to let her tell that.
Right on. I don't
remember the whole story, but it was her and Scott when they were in their first apartment.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he almost got them both thrown in prison.
Oh, okay. I walked in a house one time. I was showing it, and as I opened, this is before marijuana was legal, mind you. I opened the door, and you could see the marijuana smoke emanating from the bong, and they just stepped outside. I'm like, okay. Nikki and I were looking for a place that would enable us to do what we did here. It was a normal house, but then they had like this giant metal shed, and what they did inside of the metal shed was they completely converted it to a living quarter. So you're looking from the outside, you think that's just a metal barn, right? But you go inside, it's all drywalled out, framed, everything, like a legit house. And those kids were
situation like this.
Yeah, so those were teenage kids who obviously had just got done fucking and smoking pot, because everywhere we looked into the little house, it had remnants of pot and it smelled like sex. Like, okay. So that feedback was, I don't think the teenagers knew we were coming, but they came quite a bit.
The best setup I ever saw, someone actually took all the drywall off the entire garage. It was like a 2.5 car garage, right?
Okay.
Ceiling, walls, everything.
Yeah.
Just stuffed it completely. Put it all back together, and that's how they operated their business.
Stuffed what?
The entire garage was stuffed with marijuana.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I used to think about that. Would it be a great way to smuggle drugs for the cartel? Buy a house.
That was this situation.
Right. Buy a house.
I'll tell you the true story off the air, because it's such a touchy subject that I'm definitely not going to tell this one on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. I always thought it would be. Yeah. Like, buy a house that's disheveled, and then line the walls with marijuana and then remodel it and then turn around and sell it to the actual,
Do you know how many houses in Phoenix when you and I were like going through our Nemesis days and then all the way through the early 2000s, there were probably thousands of houses that were exactly what you just described. That's how they did it.
That's crazy.
If you ever watch, I'm trying to think of what it is. It's on the Nat Geo channel. That's where I knew what the scope of it was, because I was like, holy shit, I saw that live in person,
Yeah, okay.
And then come to find out there was literally thousands of houses that the cartel bought through probably some guy like you and I didn't
Yeah.
know what they're, businessman. Hey,
Yeah.
we need you to do whatever, X, Y, and Z, buy 5 houses.
Right.
And then they did exactly what you just described. They lined the
No
entire
shit.
house with fucking marijuana.
Wow.
And then they would move it up to Portland and,
Yeah.
Illinois and New York and whatever.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
And then
yeah.
the price goes up. That was the interesting part was
Yeah.
the price goes up the further it gets away from the border, right?
Yeah.
I was paying what? We were paying basically 1970s prices all the way through 2000 in Arizona because it only had to go 90 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
So drugs were always plentiful there.
Oh yeah.
That was.
You see,
They probably still are. I'm sure
you
the
see-
ones that are illegal.
yeah. You see what Trump did yesterday with Canada and Mexico?
Yeah, so a lot of that was smoke and mirrors because guess who made that trade agreement that he touted as being the worst trade agreement ever in the history of the world?
Who?
Himself in 2018.
Oh.
It was the best Daily Show I think I've seen in probably
Okay.
15 years because Jon Stewart was like, it's Trump against his biggest nemesis.
Wow.
Trump.
I just like the fact that they're doing something to hopefully crack down on fentanyl coming across the borders, and
I agree, but the Mexican government sent 10,000 troops during the Biden administration as well. So
Yeah.
he's, I'll give him credit, man. He's a media manipulator, but a lot of things that he says either have been done before or he did himself. I thought that was the greatest thing ever. Who made this deal? It's the worst fucking deal. I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing,
right.
but it was him in 2018.
That's crazy.
So whatever. I agree with you. I hope things get better.
Yeah. I'm what is it? What's the word? Naively optimistic.
I just
makes
would
sense?
like to see people talk like normal human beings like you and I
Yeah.
are doing right now on
Yeah.
that level. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I do, but they won't.
I think they will eventually. There's generations behind us that don't buy into this bullshit.
Someday it'll happen. It's not going to happen today. What's going to happen today is you're going to have some tater tot casserole. I'm going to go get ready to run. And then I'm probably going to have, I don't know, whatever the hell we eat after running, which, is
After running food.
after running food. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how I run, knowing that I went to D1 training this morning, kicked my ass. That was a good one too. And then worked in the yard for 2 hours with, the sun beating down, thus the rosy cheeks, a little, Historically, when I work in the yard, it's a bad time to go running that night. So we'll see if that holds true tonight or not. But fucking last week, dude, it was fucking cold, so we didn't go. Like legit, it was like 50 degrees or less at night, which in Arizona is cold.
That is cold.
And then when I saw the temperature, the wedding ended up being 71 degrees, which was fantastic because 2 weeks ago it was supposed to be 58 degrees with rain. It rained Monday and Tuesday last week. And I was happy that it didn't stay in the yard. It dried out enough that it was cool. So, that was good. It was a good time. Once I get more pictures, I'll drop them. We're working for the chick to get the one she did. Little Man was fucking awesome, dude. Little Man, like straight up microphone, in front of the crowd, the wedding, fucking did the Pledge of Allegiance. Sang the Godzilla song. He's got a Godzilla song he sings about King of the Monsters. Just and like legit, dude, holding the mic. I was showing him how to hold the mic, so he was was away from he wasn't. He's pulled it back, and it's fucking. He's a natural. Nobody wants to hear that though, but dude's a natural with a microphone. Like
Future rock star.
like just, I was like, yeah, little man, you go, like straight up, dude. I mean, 5 years old, you have no fear, and there was 100 people here,
We got to keep making rock stars, man.
Yeah, 100 people here, and he was singing on that microphone like it was just him in the room. Fucking, it was awesome. It was awesome.
I would not be sitting here talking to you if it wasn't for the rock and roll. So
that's right, brother.
It saved a lot of lives.
It did. Absolutely. Have a great day, my friend. Enjoy your tater tot casserole. Remember, boys and girls, don't let the bad day win.
Amen.
I'm Chris. He's Mike. This is Chris and Mike Show. And there'll be other episodes we're dropping about the songwriting. So,
I already dropped them all, so you can drop them.
Yeah, so be aware.
That's all one episode.
I know, but I broke them. They broke up into 3 because of my funny little finger saying
I
stop.
just put them all together. I mean, they're all separate, but I just throw them all up there.
Yeah, because I put the first one up Sunday, so I'll have the next one go tomorrow, and then another one I'll have maybe like a Friday bonus episode or something.
You do whatever you want. You're running the YouTube, brother. I don't tell you what to do. I just told you what I did.
There you go. Right on. Peace out, my friend. Love you.
Love you too, man.
Be safe. Peace.